Hello and welcome to my very first video. Today we're going to make this very cute Valentine, and to begin with we are going to remove this little ribbon so you can see the inside here. It's got a cute little flap, and inside you can see it says "From my heart to yours." Alright, so to begin we're going to use a piece of Whisper White cardstock cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and then we're going to use our score pal here. And I have the cute little tabs here marking we're going to score at 4 1/4 and again at 9 inches. Score it really well so it folds easily. Alright, and just move that here out of the way. And we're going to fold on our score lines here. Now to get that cute little flap, we're going to use our cutting tool. And you're going to take this corner point here and line it up at the 1 inch mark. Oh, got that upside down. Okay. We're going to line it up at the 1 inch mark, and you want your fold line to line up with the valley for your cutting blade. And we're going to cut that off, and then you're going to flip your whole card over and do the same thing where this outside point is at the 1 inch mark and your fold line is in the valley for the cutting blade. And then cut that straight off. For the next layer, the Sahara Sand, and I've already cut that one, but you're going to do the same thing. You're going to start with a rectangle, and I believe that was at 4 1/2 by 2 1/4, and then you do the same thing to cut your angles, and you'll have that piece. Now to create this cute little pattern here, we are going to make a mask and then spritz it with the new Blushing Bride smooch spray. So to get that pattern, we're going to use the border punch, and you're just going to use some scrap white paper. Here's our border punch, and you want to lay this flat on the table and put this in here. And you're going to punch down and then slide it over and line it up with the pattern on the punch, and then you're going to slide back the other way to get the rest of it. Too far. Okay, so you're going to do this. You're going to have to do this several times to get enough to mask your whole card, but that's how it works. It comes out like that, and you'll have all these little pieces underneath. We'll smooth them to the side. And here you can see I've already got a piece here all masked for you. We're just going to take, and the last piece, how I attach this is just using some temporary dado adhesive. Some in there, and then the pattern is staggered every other one. So here we have little crosses, and then the flower, crosses, flower. So you're going to do that for your whole piece. And then we have the color catcher. Bring the color catcher over here, and we're going to just lay this in here. The color catcher is great so you don't get all your sparkly bits all over your paper and products. And this is the shimmer spray, and we're just gonna mix all this shimmery stuff up by rubbing it between our hands here. If you shake it up and down, you just get too many air bubbles, and then when it's on your project they pop and it just doesn't look as nice. Okay, take the cover off. Make sure you're pointing the right way. And we'll spritz it several times here. You can make it as dark or light as you want. And it doesn't take very long to dry. Okay, so you pull that out of your color catcher, and then you peel all these masks right off your project. Now, if you get any little bits on your actual card, just take your finger and rub them off, and they'll come off pretty easily. Okay. Now you can see here I didn't spray as heavily, so it's a little lighter there. Okay. I'm just going to fold this again. And then you can take some snail adhesive and put it on the inside of the white flap. And then you're going to line up here. Get your layer. And this kind of overlaps just a little bit. We're just going to take our paper snips and just snip that off the corner. Okay. Now for stamping. Our sentiments come from the P.S. I Love You set. This is new and from the new mini catalog. Very cute. And we're going to use Black G. And on the inside it says from my heart to your heart. So to get these on here, if you've never used them before, just put the stamp down and then you want to push gently down, or I guess pretty hard down, for a couple seconds. And we're going to use the Perfect Plum marker to color the stamp in. And then you want to huff or breathe on it just to keep the ink moist. And then we will punch or stamp that right on there. Perfect. And then there's two little hearts on the inside. So we're going to use this little heart punch, and I've been using this piece of paper here. You're going to punch two hearts out, and just use your snail adhesive to adhere them down on either side of your sentiment. And then on the outside, we're going to use the Be My Valentine. Again, just press that down good for a few seconds and then it'll stick. If they ever start not sticking, you need to probably wash your blacks off and dry them good. Sometimes you need to wipe the cling side of the stamp off too. Okay, same thing, coloring that with the plum. And we're going to stamp that right on the front of our card. Okay, now to create our closure, we're going to use the Blushing Bride polyester ribbon. And you're just going to kind of measure this right off the rule here. And we're going to tie our bow on separately. So this piece we're just going to snip off with my ribbon scissors. And you're going to, if you don't already, I highly recommend keeping scissors separate for your ribbon and fabric from your paper scissors, because using paper scissors really dulls them and it doesn't cut your ribbon quite as nicely. So we're going to use sticky strip to keep our ribbon closed. This is super sticky tape and I love it for keeping things down. We're going to put a little bit here on the front piece of our ribbon, and then you pull this red piece, the red layer off, and that will leave the other side sticky. Okay, then we're going to take the bottom of our ribbon and just stick that to the top, and that makes our belly band. Then we're going to take some more ribbon, slide that underneath there to make our bow. And I want to leave it long enough to tie. Oh, I didn't leave it long enough. We'll go a little bit farther. There we go. And I find when I tie them upside down, my tails go the right way on my card. So, tie our bow. There we go. And you're just going to work it until you get it to kind of lay the way you want. And we'll just snip our little tails off. There we go. And you can fluff up the little loops a little bit. Very cute. There you have your closure. And now to make the heart and the little girl. So we're going to use the Big Shot with the New Hearts Framelits. This is one of the hearts. They come in a package like this. And then when you open them, they got them stuck with double-sided tape. And that'll hold them. If you want to keep it a little neater, you could use a sheet of magnets to put in your container. So to layer this, you're going to use your platform on tab 2, and then you put your acrylic sheet down, your paper, and then your Sizzlet with the edge down, because the side with the little lip is what's going to cut your paper. Okay, we're just going to run this through. This is really easy to do. And then it kind of sticks all together, and you just pop that out. And then pop your little heart out. Move that aside. Now to attach this, we're going to use sticky strip again because snail adhesive is not going to keep it attached to your ribbon. I'm just going to snip another little piece off. Put that right in the middle. If I can get that piece off. Okay. And then that just sticks right down to your ribbon. Okay, now we're going to take a scratch piece of paper with, got little scraps here. Okay, and we're going to use the greeting cards kid stamp, and we're going to use the little girl with the Valentine heart. And we're going to stamp her in black stays on. Because we're going to be coloring. Anytime you want to color, you want to use a permanent ink so that as you're coloring, your black doesn't blend in with your other colors. So we'll stamp her down. Okay. Move that. And then we have Perfect Plum here for her dress. We'll color her in quickly. And I'm using the brush tip of my markers because we have a pretty open image. And then we're going to use the Blushing Bride to color her ribbons. And this I'm using the finer tip. It's just a little easier to get in there and get those little pieces, the little spots. Her ruffles are a little bigger. Okay, we're going to color in the ruffles on her dress and the heart. Oh, excuse me, I colored her leg the wrong color. Alright, we want to use the Blush Blossom for her skin. Apologize. Please ignore that little part. And we're going to use the Crumb Cake for her hair. Okay. Now to punch her out, we're going to use the 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and you're going to use this punch upside down so you can see where you're punching in your image. And you're going to cut off a little bit of her shoes, but you want to make sure you get her ribbon. And then to attach her, we're just going to use some dimensionals here on the back. And you'll peel the little papers off. And we'll stick her just in the middle of the heart. There you go. There's your finished Valentine. I hope you enjoyed this project. And feel free to leave me any comments, and I look forward to hearing from you again. Thank you.